Alright, so Dana White finally revealed the main and co-main event for UFC 313, and it is insanely stacked, okay? For the main event, we have Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev, which is an incredible fight, okay? I'm very excited for that one. And then the co-main event, this one's going to be an absolute war, okay? You have Justin Gaethje versus Dan Hooker, and that's an absolute banger, okay? Let me know what you guys think about this fight and who you would have in the main event, whether it's Alex Pereira or Magomed Ankalaev. And while you're down there, I'd appreciate if you could like, subscribe. We're really close to 500 subs. Anyway, let me get into it. Because for a while, I was genuinely concerned that Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev would just like never happen, and you know, Dana White would give the title shot to Carlos Ulberg if he beat Jan Blachowicz, and then Magomed Ankalaev would get fed to like Shamil Gaziev in the literal sense, okay, just a light snack for the GOAT. You know, I genuinely was kind of surprised when I saw this fight get announced, especially so early, because I'm pretty sure this fight is like right in the middle of Ramadan, which was the reason that Magomed Ankalaev didn't want to fight at UFC 300, which was a year ago, by the way. This fight has been put off for a year. I genuinely don't know what they were doing, because this fight could have just happened at like UFC 308 or UFC 307. They could have just taken Magomed Ankalaev out that fight against Rakic, but for some reason they didn't and put in Khalil Roundtree, which is why I was very scared that this fight was just not going to happen, okay, because this is a great fight, okay, pay-per-view wise, I think this is kind of underrated. I think this fight is going to do very, very well in terms of sales, because you've got Alex Pereira, who's like one of the biggest stars in UFC history and definitely the biggest star in the UFC right now, fighting a Dagestani guy. That is going to sell very, very well, okay? A big Brazilian guy versus a big Russian guy. I think that's going to sell very well. The reason I'm so invested in this fight, though, is probably because it's finally some sort of test for Alex Pereira, okay? People are calling this guy the GOAT if he gets the third belt. Meanwhile, he's not even fought a single grappler, okay? Maybe he did fight some, like, bum unranked grapplers, but bro, in the rankings, this guy's not fought a single grappler. It's just been pure striker after pure striker. And like, bro, there's not been a single guy who's like a real test for him, okay? If you're Alex Pereira and you're just fighting another striker when you're like a goated kickboxer, it's not really a test. And Magomed Ankalaev is not even a test, okay? Because this guy's also a striker, but he has some sort of grappling, okay? If he wants to use it, by the way, because I'm not even joking, this guy's been saying that he's going to strike with Alex Pereira, which nobody believes. But if he does do this, you know, after seeing Rinya Nakamura's performance over Muin Gafurov, it honestly wouldn't surprise me. But still, I very much doubt that Ankalaev is going to just strike with Alex Pereira. But look, bro, Ankalaev is a guy who's very, very defensively sound, and Alex Pereira, his defense was a little sus at first, okay? People were always saying, bro, Alex Pereira's boxing defense, man, bro, it's actually not very good. But look, his defense has been cleaned up a lot. I mean, we saw in the Khalil Roundtree fight, bro, this guy literally just turned into, like, the GOAT, okay? This guy genuinely might be the greatest striker of all time, and I don't, like, that's not even a hot take, okay? I feel like most people would agree with that. His striking is insane. So I don't think this is going to be a brutal knockout in the first, like Alex Pereira's past couple fights, okay? Outside of the Khalil Roundtree fight, he basically just smoked every single person. Magomed Ankalaev, I doubt he's going to do that to Alex Pereira, okay? But I really see this being an absolute war, okay? I know Magomed Ankalaev, this guy cannot check a leg kick, so he might be cooked there. You know, maybe actually will end in the first couple of rounds if Alex Pereira just like, absolutely destroys this guy with the leg kicks. But I think Magomed Ankalaev is fairly defensively sound, and so is Alex Pereira. But the thing is, Magomed Ankalaev is also a southpaw like Khalil Roundtree. I think this is going to be very important in this fight. I don't think Alex Pereira is going to be able to just like absolutely destroy Magomed Ankalaev in the leg kicks, because Alex Pereira doesn't really seem to switch stances that much, so I don't think he's going to be able to switch just so he can leg kick Magomed Ankalaev, and I just don't think he's been able to use leg kicks effectively against southpaws, okay? He wasn't really able to use it that much against Khalil Roundtree, and then, you know, Jamal Hill, he just brutally KO'd him, okay? So he wasn't really able to leg kick him there, so I really don't think it's going to be a huge issue, because I think that's the biggest concern for Magomed Ankalaev, is can he check the leg kicks? But yeah, I think this fight is going to be great, okay, because Magomed Ankalaev is a southpaw with very good boxing and decent grappling, which is like all of Alex Pereira's weaknesses, so I'm very excited to see this fight, okay? But that's not the only stacked fight on this card, okay? Justin Gaethje versus Dan Hooker is an insanely good fight. I really, really like this fight, because look, for Dan Hooker, it gives him an opportunity to get into the top 5, beat a guy like Justin Gaethje, which is a great name to have on your resume, and for Justin Gaethje, he's not really fighting a guy with crazy amount of power who's going to knock him out after what Max Holloway just did to him, you know, even though that was like a year ago, still, he's coming off a pretty brutal KO and a pretty brutal beating, so I think it's a great opportunity for both guys. Both guys have really big stuff in it for them, because if Dan Hooker wins this fight, he'll probably get a title shot. If Justin Gaethje beats Dan Hooker, he'll probably get a title shot off that as well. So it's pretty huge for both of them. But on top of that, it's just a very fun fight. This is going to be a very entertaining fight, an absolute war. I'm really glad they put this on this card, because I'm not going to lie, that UFC 312 card is absolutely cooked. That is genuinely one of the worst cards I've ever seen. It's literally just Dana White Contender Series people on the main card. How does that make any sense, okay? And then the co-main and main event is Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis, which nobody cares about. Then Yan Xiaonan versus Tatiana Suarez, who absolutely no one cares about either. It's like, bro, that card is so bad. So I'm glad they're making up for it with a very, very, like, fan-friendly card. casual friendly card. It's actually a very good fights on here. Now, apart from the co-main event and main event, I don't think a lot of other fights have been announced, but bro, some of these fights are actually very, very good. Okay, so you have Bruno Ferreira versus Armen Petrosyan, which is a very good fight as well, because look, bro, Bruno Ferreira, he was a pretty good prospect until he got, subbed by Abus Magomedov, but look, Abus Magomedov is very good, so look, I don't think this is a terrible loss for him to have. So Bruno Ferreira versus Armen Petrosyan. Petrosyan just came off a pretty good fight against Shara Bullet. He didn't even get completely outstruck, so I think that's going to be a very fun fight. I'm probably going to lean to Bruno Ferreira to win that one. Then you have Ozzy Diaz versus Jordan Santos, okay? Jordan Santos coming off the Contender Series, he did win by decision, so it was like a crazy knockout. But look, Ozzy Diaz genuinely might be one of the worst fighters of all time. Like, this guy is genuinely just terrible, okay? I think he used to fight middleweight and then just like fat max to light heavyweight. I don't know what he's doing. Okay? He needs to actually just put down the card. This guy was like Dave Blunt's maxing. Well, hopefully that's going to be a brutal KO because Ozzy Diaz just got brutally KO'd by Zhang Mingyang, okay, the absolute GOAT. And then you have Alex Morono versus Carlos Leo. This might be a little bit of a sleeper fight because Alex Morono is quite literally insanely boring, okay? But look, Carlos Lil, this guy genuinely is just on roids. He's just abusing steroids very clearly, bro. This guy had one of the worst cases of back knee I've ever seen. I don't know how that guy was cleared to fight. I truly don't believe he was tested. So look, Carlos Lil, he's actually a decent prospect though. He beat Rinat Fakhretdinov. Okay, that was an absolute robbery. That was genuinely a daylight robbery, okay? I don't understand how he didn't get the win for that, but they were in Abu Dhabi and Rinat Fakhretdinov got the nod. So look, Carlos Lil is a very good, somewhat of a prospect, and I think he's kind of old now. Then you have Marion Santos versus Francis Marshall. Marion Santos, this guy's striking is so good, bro. It's kind of like Anderson Silva's, bro. He's so, like, fluid. And he's fighting Francis Marshall, who's a pretty good fighter. And, bro, Marion Santos, he just recently won TUF, so I'm very excited for this one as well. And then Bruno Silva versus Joshua Van, okay? This is a banger because Joshua Van is just the GOAT, okay? Bruno Silva, he just got absolutely, molested by Manel Kape, so, that's not going to be good for him. And then Jonathan Denise versus Vitor Petrino. I believe this one got cancelled because I think one of these guys got injured. I think it might have been Vitor Petrino, but I'm honestly glad, bro, because both of these guys just got brutally, like, KO'd. I don't know why they're coming back so soon. Like, Jonathan Denise got absolutely embarrassed by, what's his name, Marcin Tybura, and then Vitor Petrino, he's just moving up after getting smoked by, like, a journeyman, bro, so I don't know what's going on there. Then you have Chris Gutierrez versus Gene Matsumoto. Gene Matsumoto is an absolutely goated prospect, so, I'm very excited for him to absolutely smoke Chris Gutierrez. I don't know why I just hate Chris Gutierrez, his fighting style just annoys me. But yeah, I can't wait for them to reveal the rest of the card because I think the rest of the main card is going to be absolutely stacked. I don't think the prelims are going to be as stacked. Looking at it, this doesn't look like anything that crazy, but I think this is going to be great fights. Like, if they all do, like, none of them fall through, I think these are all going to be great fights. I'm very excited for this card. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev, a fight that should have happened ages ago. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about the card. And yeah, that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Alright.